Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at the Oculus Rift DK2, and we're going to look at the 3D model gallery by Stephen Allen as a basis for giving my opinion of the VR experience in its current form. Now, I've had the DK2 for a couple of weeks now, and I've been playing it quite a bit. I've pretty much sampled all of the demos available and have a firm grasp of how virtual reality is playing out at this current stage. I haven't tried the Samsung Gear VR just yet with its slightly improved visuals or resolution, but I think the DK2 gives a fair view of how VR can be at this current time, given the limitations with the hardware. So the first thing I'm going to point out, because obviously you're going to be watching on the 2D video, is the sense of presence within the room. You don't get that by looking at the 2D video. You don't get that feeling that you're inside the actual room here, because everywhere you look, your head movements are being tracked. The view corresponds to where your head is looking at. So it's something you don't get from regular TV unless you put your face up close to a curved screen television set. So that's a major advantage here of VR. The feeling of presence within the room, and the fact that you've got that feeling of the depth perception and feeling of movement. We'll speak more about the movement in a moment. So in this room here, you've got a load of character models from Resident Evil. It's all in 3D, and the models here are quite well replicated in terms of their quality. I mean, if I look up close to this liquor, I can see the detail. It's a pretty good model. It's not animated, unfortunately, but you do get a feeling of that model is actually in front of you, and you're free to look around it. If we take Jill Valentine as an example, I'll just lower my height, and I've kind of changed the shadow effect there. She's a tall girl. I can sort of really get up close to her. I mean, I'm looking up to her face. Her face is literally right in front of me, as if, you know, we're either squaring up or about to get into a passionate kiss. You know, the breaths in my face. And yeah, it really just feels like she's in my face as a character model. I mean, I can get beneath her. I can look up her skirt. I'm having to tilt my head really back to look right up her skirt. You know what I mean? That's something that you can do in VR. No other application allows you to do that. And then we got Stars, or the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. Stars. No lips Nemesis, and again, you won't get that on the 2D video, but the sense of scale is phenomenal. He does feel like he's 8 foot tall. He's standing right in front of me, and I'm not going to get too close to his crotch area. And you know, the fact that I can move around the model, look at all of his detail, his fingers. I mean, almost touch the fingers. Oh, and then walk through the model. I mean, that's not advisable. There's a very unusual sensation when you walk through character models. It feels like your soul is being ripped out. And it's a very unusual feeling. So let's look at image quality. Now, this room is a good example of the image quality. If we check out that Cerberus dog from this distance, now on the screen that you're looking at, it probably retains its quality. But for me in the DK2, the details are not there. I mean, I can still make out it's the Cerberus dog, as I can make out the Nemesis in the background and Hunk in the corner there. But the details are absent until you start moving closer. They become more defined. And then obviously when you're right up close, you see that definition. With the DK2, the screen door effect, or the pixels, are quite apparent. The further away the object, the larger those pixels appear. And it's distracting. It's not ideal. It's almost akin to looking at an SD TV up close. But, you know, as a gamer, you have to overcome that. Ignore those elements and immerse yourself into what is presented. And again, with the viewpoint, the peripheral vision is obscured with a black border, like you're wearing ski goggles. And you know, that's very apparent. You're noticing that all the time. But you sort of learn to look beyond that and overcome it. And again, as I said before, the sense of scale is unmatched. You won't get that by looking at the video. It looks kind of flat on the 2D video, but here in 3D, the sense of scale is incredible. That dragon's head is huge. I mean, in relation to my perspective of the dragon's head, you know, my own head, I know the size of it. The dragon's head just feels much bigger than my own. So I've got that sense of scale and perception of the model, far more than you can have in any other medium. Raiden. You know, I put this demo akin to a trip down Madame Tussauds, looking at waxworks models, and you know, standing there having your photograph taken. Hi, Raiden. And you know, you do feel that. You do feel like you're in the room with these models, Master Chief and Alcatraz. Who's that prophet? Either way, it's you know, it's a good experience. I mean, they could have made a game out of this. Steven could have made a game, named the characters, Vaz, Dante. Now, you know, you can get up into Dante's face and, you know, punch him in the face, but you'd be punching air, and you could also be punching your monitor, which is not advisable. So, you know, it's as a demo for, and then ducking under that wing, you know, I had to feel like I had to duck, lest it cut my head off or my hair, and you know, there is a sense of being in this environment, despite the low quality visuals not being on par with HD 1080p visuals that you'd expect from a modern day computer. And then we move into the Final Fantasy room. We can look at all the models here, and again, get a good look at those models. You can look up all the skirts as much as you want to. I mean, there's no limitations here in what you can do. I mean, Steven could have added some collision detection, but I'm not sure if that was possible. So it is kind of weird when you move through the characters. We've got Riku here, and you just go right through, and it just gives a weird feeling in the gut. So, and the reason why you've got this kind of empty room, bare white walls, very low textured floor, is that it just the processing power required to run these kind of fully 3D environments is a lot. I'm running a GTX 970, and you know that it gets pushed running a lot of these demos. So there's a element of optimization and also an element of how the processing capabilities of the current GPUs and the system requirements for the demos placed upon them is just extremely high. So not everyone owns a high spec GPU. So there's got to really be a change in the performance and what they can get out of lower spec systems. And we've got Optimus Prime, go Autobots, and you know, he's huge. I'm having to really tilt back in my chair and look up at him to feel his pure majesty. And Megatron. You know, it's you know, a great showcase and of what VR experiences can be like. And you know, I really do feel like I'm in the museum of gaming. And the fact that I can just get up to look at her chest without any problems or being punched in the face. But you do notice, and this is a great example, those low quality textures. Again, the hardware is not capable of running high quality textures unless you're, I mean, even if you're running a quad GTX Titans in SLI, which is 0.0001% of the population. Okay, I just pulled that figure out of my ass, but you get the point. It's not feasible to have these high definition graphics and a smooth experience for the user. I mean, in terms of visuals, if you look at this room here, Naruto and Friends, you know, this is how they look in their respective games. It's not going for complete realism, and therefore the perception of the characters is a lot more in line with what is expected. But when you're going for the realism, the detail diminishes due to the limitations of the hardware. So the other thing is movement and the motion sickness. I mean, you can move at speed. It affects a number of people. Now, I wasn't aware that I was susceptible to motion sickness before. I never had any experiences of seasickness. But an hour of Half-Life 2, when I first got the DK2, a very fast-paced game, had me in bits after about an hour, and I was out of action for about 3 hours with extreme nausea. I wasn't actually physically sick, but I just felt really awful and had to lie down. You have to condition your body to get used to the VR experience. Your brain thinks that you're moving. Your vision is telling your brain that you're moving, but you're actually not. You're sat in a chair. You're sat with Wonder Woman's breasts right in your face. Literally right in your face, and your brain just can't comprehend this, and therefore sees it as you're hallucinating, and therefore the nausea is a mechanism to prevent you from, to expel a poison from within you that's causing this disparity between your brain and what's actually being seen or related to from your eyes. And so that's the motion sickness you get from VR, and it depends largely on the software, and again the movement speed and what's required of the player. So you have to tailor your body. Don't push yourself when you first jump in. The body does get a kind of tolerance. And limit your playtime. And knowing your limits is the main thing. Knowing when you get that feeling in the stomach, knowing that that's the time when you need to put the headset down and take a break. Your body's saying, no thanks. You have 20 seconds to comply. And Air 209 looks fantastic. Again, if these were all animated, that would change the flavor. I mean, probably you could get 1 or 2 models animated at this level of detail, but not a whole room full of them. Your PC would begin to have problems. So as I said, the feeling of being in the game, in the environment, is unmatched. And the freedom to go under Juliet's armpit, even look up her skirt, full 360-degree view of Juliet's underwear. You know, it allows you to do that. You've got that freedom of movement without being punched in the face or ridiculed or whatever. Now, they could make games that incorporate that. Imagine an RPG where you're being a bit disrespectful to the character, and instead of listening to what they've got to say, you're looking at their cleavage, and they react accordingly. Adds a new level of immersion. Lara, the bow through the chest. Forget the arrow in the knee, it's the bow through the chest. And for hair not affected by gravity. So overall, I think the VR experience is in its early days, in its infancy, and has a lot of room for improvement. But as it stands, it's definitely different, and it's quite engaging and very immersive, beyond your traditional 3D that you'd expect from a TV using passive glasses, or you know, it's the sense of presence is very much there. I mean, you can even see this giraffe's ball bag. Why would you want to do that? Why would anyone want to do that? But it's there. The point is, you can do that. You've got that option. And you know, you can feel right up close to these characters. I mean, Kong there is huge. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is massive. The wolves are small. And again, I can... So now I've lowered the camera to below the eye line of the wolf, to make the wolf look kind of large to me, as if I'm a small character. But again, if you then look at the T-Rex in the same kind of view, you still get that huge sense of scale now. The T-Rex is like a mountain in comparison, even though the other objects, which are small in relation, feel big to me as well, because I'm sort of like a midget on the floor. So VR is great for that respect. I mean, I'm maximum height here. Kong's face is a massive head. Now I feel like I'm flying and ride on the Rex's back. So a lot of fun can be had with this. Youngsters can play on it and feel immersed in worlds. But again, it's down to the software at the end of the day that will determine the success of VR. And the more commercially viable it becomes, it's likely that you'll see more developers jumping on board. I mean, currently there's no real monetary gain in releasing a VR experience on the Rift due to the low numbers of people that actually own them. This is a development pre-release model. Consumer version will hopefully release this year or early 2016. So yeah, I enjoyed my VR experience. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff in it. I've looked at normal cinema, watching movies, 3D movies. Again, you got the same shortfalls as you have in this demo in terms of image quality. It's extremely watchable, and you can watch an entire movie and be immersed in having a huge, massive IMAX style screen in front of you, at the expense of a lesser quality and the pixelization of the image when viewing distant objects. But it's still very much a watchable thing, and there's huge potential for HD movies. The adult entertainment industry can also benefit. I have watched adult movies, plural, and the experience is unlike anything you've seen before in terms of getting up close to the action. I've got to watch my words here. You basically feel like you're where the camera is located when the scene is being shot. And you're placed right into the at the focal point of the lens and the actors. That's how it feels. And then you're obviously your head tracking and your view, looking left and right. You feel like you're in the movie, which you just can't get from regular 2D viewing or 3D viewing at a comfortable level, by putting your face as close to the screen as possible. It's just not the same effect. So the implications there are massive, and I believe there's a few programs at the moment that are doing the rounds that are venturing into the adult entertainment area, and I haven't actually tried those. I mean, there's a few demos that have adult content that feature kind of 360 degree view, head tracking, adult videos. I have tried the adult applications, which again show a lot of promise if you're into that, and a lot of men and women will be into that. It's just a fact that a lot of people with computers view adult content. There's no denying that or running away from that aspect. So the potential for VR is absolutely massive. Even at this early stage, it's very much enthusiast. You need a bit of equipment to get it working properly and flawlessly. You've got to sacrifice some of the visual elements that you might be more accustomed to, but once you've learned to live with those, the experience is very much engaging and immersive, and has huge potential in gaming and other mediums, movies and education, etc. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you here with Optimus Prime, and yeah, VR is very much cool, and be interesting to see how it moves on in the next year or two. Okay, I'm Rob Cram. Thanks for watching.